Michigan gets their $10 million five-star quarterback after all. They just flipped him from LSU. Brian Kelly is hot, and what this means for Sherrone Moore and Michigan. This breaking news edition of Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten, a breaking news edition here. Michigan just landed five-star quarterback Bryce Underwood. He was the number one quarterback and the number one overall recruit for the class of 2025. He is a Bellevue, Michigan native, and he stunned the college football world when he announced late Thursday that he is flipping his commitment from Brian Kelly and LSU to go to Michigan. There are a lot of things at play here. Some of them we've discussed in advance here on Locked On Big Ten. Some we'll get into right here. You everyday listeners and viewers to Locked On Big Ten are very familiar with this story. We dedicated a podcast to him last Friday. And he's the one that Michigan reportedly offered $10.5 million of nil money to in order to come to Ann Arbor, which is about 18 miles from his home in Michigan. Now, it was reported shortly thereafter all this story was floating around last week. His camp, the people in his camp, they reiterated the fact that Underwood, $10.5 million or not, was going to remain committed to LSU. He liked where his career would go there, and he thought it could be developed there. And who knows how much nil money he was getting at LSU. I wasn't under the impression it was as much as Michigan was offering. But he gave his verbal commitment to LSU back in January. And Brian Kelly built his entire recruiting class of 2025 around landing him. In fact, the January commitment, now the verbal commitment announcement came just weeks after LSU's Jaden Daniels won the Heisman. So there was a whole lot of hype about being a quarterback at LSU and all that stuff. Now it's surprisingly time for Plan B in Baton Rouge, days from National Signing Day, December 4th. So something changed and money talks. It's a good thing, too, for Michigan, because Michigan's recent interest stepping up a little bit, if you will, in Underwood, it cost them another recruit. There was a four-star recruit, Carter Smith, out of Bishop Verot in Fort Myers. He caught wind of this. He committed to Jim Harbaugh and Michigan last fall and was very excited about going to Michigan. And he caught wind of this recent recruiting of Underwood, this last-minute push. And he said, I'm out of here. You guys don't want me? You want him? Good. I'm out of here. Then the report came that Underwood was going to stay at LSU, and Michigan had lost this four-star quarterback. Now they had nothing. They were floating around with everybody, and they ended up with nothing, it looked like, until Thursday. So pretty interesting situation here. Things saved by the bell at the last second here for Sherrone Moore. As far as Underwood goes, he's got great size, great athleticism. He can run. He's got great arm talent. And so his passing game is fairly developed as well. Through 48 high school games as a starter, he has 165 touchdowns. That's a lot. He really is an offensive threat. And he's young as a senior. In fact, he won't be 20 until his third year of college. And just to make this story more insane and crazy, in case you didn't know this, I know my regular listeners know this, but one of Underwood's high school coaches is Connor Stalions. Connor Stalions. Yes, that Connor Stalions from the Michigan Spygate story. I guess he's influential, huh? Apparently so. Looking in from the outside, Underwood, he may have a shot at starting pretty early when he arrives at Michigan as a pretty young true freshman, because there's not a lot in the pipeline at Michigan at quarterback right now. In fact, this year has been an unmitigated disaster for Michigan at the quarterback position after operating under the luxury of J.J. McCarthy in 2022 and 2023. Sherrone Moore, he shuttled back and forth between Davis Warren and Alex Orji and the recently retired Jack Tuttle. Moore made a fatal mistake here. He relied on the Michigan man culture and next man up, and they thought they had their next quarterback after J.J. McCarthy already in the building. That was the mistake. They should have gone out. I've said this repeatedly, not just now. Should have gone out to the transfer portal, got themselves a Will Howard type like Ohio State did. Didn't do it. And now Michigan's season has come crashing down to mediocrity. And, without a top-notch recruit in the works, had they not landed Underwood here, all they really have in the pipeline is Jaden Davis, who so far has redshirted. I mean, he's there right now, and people speak highly of him. And they were tempted to use him when they were going through their 3 quarterbacks earlier, but they didn't want to burn the red shirt. Although, at this point, he can still play in Michigan's remaining games and not burn his redshirt year. He might be worth a look right now. I mean, who knows? Could be the next Tom Brady. Might as well find out. But once Underwood arrives on campus, there's going to be a lot of pressure to play him sooner than later. And you don't want to start Jaden Davis next week against Ohio State. Maybe this week against Northwestern would be a better time to do so and take a look at the kid. Again, the awkward spot for Michigan here this week too. If you start him or not, or play him or not, give him some snaps, whatever the case may be. This Northwestern game is a must-win game for Michigan this weekend because they're stuck at 5 wins. They want that 6th win to become bowl eligible so they can practice these guys some more. And unless they pull up a huge upset in Columbus, Ohio next weekend, they got to get this win this weekend. So very interesting scenario this weekend. So what does this mean for Sherrone Moore as we move forward? Well, we'll discuss that. I have a lot of ideas. If you're new to our podcast through this today or any other time, feel free to subscribe. It's free here on Locked On Big Ten. We're here each and every day. Love to have you on board. Share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten. And don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. We put all of our podcasts there chronologically and group them by schools. And we also have links if you want to buy your favorite team's merchandise there. Pennants, shirts, hats, all right there in time for Christmas at talkbig10.com. All right, Sherrone Moore, what does this mean? What does this mean for Michigan? We'll cover all of this as we continue with this special breaking news edition of Locked On Big Ten. Game Time is an awesome app you need if you want to go to events. If an event has a ticket, you need Game Time. All right, get the Game Time app on your phone or your favorite device. And if you need a ticket to a sporting event, Big Ten football, Big Ten basketball, non-sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, if it needs a ticket, you get it with Game Time. They are fantastic. They have their all-in prices. There's no surprises at the end. My favorite part is they got the view from the seat of the ticket you're about to buy ahead of time so you can check it out, make sure it's a good seat, all of that right there. And the lowest price guarantee. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, a redeem code, LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. FanDuel. Now, this makes the fun of watching games even more fun. Get a little action going on it, get a little excitement. It's all good. FanDuel has a great deal for you. Like NFL action, for example. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Watching NFL games, got a hunch on some stats or want to catch up on the score. It's all right there on the same page where you put your bets. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, a FanDuel Sportsbook, gives you everything you need right there in one place. So visit FanDuel.com and join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, we continue with our special breaking news edition of Locked On Big Ten. Thank you for making us your first listen each and every day, especially you everydayers that know we're out here every single day. Subscribe, share, and follow if you don't mind. It's all free right here at Locked On Big Ten. We follow your teams every day. And don't forget to check out our website, talkbig10.com, for podcasts and Big Ten team merchandise. So, what does the flipping and the eventual signing of 5-star quarterback Bryce Underwood mean for Michigan coach Sherrone Moore? Means everything. What it does is it buys them time. Nobody expected him to follow Jim Harbaugh and go 15-0 and win a national championship this year, but I do think people expected better than a 500 ball club this year. Now, being a 500 ball club is directly related to not having a quarterback this year because there is some talent on this football team. So this was it. This was the mulligan year. All right. This was the honeymoon period after he signed that contract to become the Michigan coach after Jim Harbaugh. And because this is the mulligan and this is the honeymoon period, it's used up. And that means there was pressure going into 2025. And if Moore had entered 2025 with no good plan at quarterback again, either through the portal or the recruiting trail, it probably wasn't going to be a 2026. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal. Underwood changes everything. Now there's a plan. And even because he's young, I think people will be more patient. It's like, all right, maybe we're still 500 in 2025. We've got a young quarterback or whatever. But if you went in the same plan next year with what happened this year, I don't think Michigan fan was going to have it. So now they can see a plan in place and watch an exciting kid play at the same time. Michigan fans, I would love your comments on this. Hit me up with all that. Would love to hear from you guys on YouTube. Get comments all the time. And that would be fantastic because I really want to gauge your opinion on all of this. Big story. Underwood coming to Michigan, not LSU. The big nil deal, all of that. Hey, in the meantime, don't forget, subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're just discovering us with this breaking news here, we're out here every day. Subscribe for free. You'll get our regular podcast as soon as they become available each and every day. And remember, we are your number one source for all things Big Ten news, Big Ten analysis, and Big Ten opinion right here. Feel free to follow me on Twitter or X at TalkBig10. Comments on YouTube are always welcome, and our website, talkbig10.com. Check that out as well. Don't forget also, again, if you're new, while we do this every day, we go live on Saturdays. We pick a big game, and we go live after for immediate reaction from me to you and your comments as well. We're going to do that this weekend, in case you haven't heard. Indiana is at Michigan, or Indiana is at Ohio State. It is a top 5 matchup, number 5 versus number 2. And the winner likely takes on Oregon for the Big Ten championship game. We will go live on our Locked On Big Ten YouTube channel after that game. Probably going to be about 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. So join us there and be ready with your comments. And I'm going to give you mine, that's for sure, as things start to take shape in the Big Ten race. So hope to see you then. Thanks for checking us out here with the breaking news here today. For Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Shemon. Talk to you next time.